Tubanjiriza nnyo luteeko mpewoza TV Africa. Kansubire wasuze bulungi gwe atulaba kikulu nnyo. Nulaye bulamu kya muwendo nnyo. Webale kubanga wasuze bulungi ate webalekerera ku TV Africa. Program yaffe Breakfast in Africa nga bulijjo yeri mu kutambula essaawa eno. Era ali eyo koonako ku munno mugambe zuukuka muge yatabye dda yatandise dda okusoosootola ensonga. Mukulike ennaku enkulu kansubireza abayisiza bulungi abamu abamu biraba ate embeera yabatuseeka abamu baalidde kava abamu ne beesibira mu bisenge ne bagamba naye katulozeeko ogutali musango naye nga mu kiseera kino ekya covid kasita bakusanga nga weesibiddemu oli mu kunywa kenge oli mu kukola biki embeera eyinza okukyankalanako naye nga tuvuddeyo tulina ensonga nnyingi leero ez'okuba nga tuttaanya naddala mu kisaawe eky'ebyokulonda kalundu kanaatera 14 ng'abaana basimbye layini ekintu bakitayaalisa effumbiro nga linyooka omukka naye nga kigambo ky'abyakulonda tulaba abalonzi bayogera byabwe tutunulira babesimbyewo nabe basuubiza bingi n'embeera ng'eyo bwetyo naye ng'ekiseera bagamba kyabavubuka olwakula leero ndeese omwami owenjawulo agenda okuba nga asoosotola ensonga eno kwategana n'ebyokulonda tuli ku kyabavubuka embeera ng'eyo ate ndeese muvubuka kyekirungi nakuba tusoosotola embeera bwetyo atubuulire manyi bino bya bibiina ekibiina agwa mukiriwa ye lwaki ye tutambudde tutya asuubira ki bintu bye bikamu ekyo nga tuwaya naawe atuba ku TV Africa sebo tusanyisa okulaba
nange abali ku TV Africa Breakfast in Africa timusanyufu okuba nammwe olwaleero.
Amanya sebo?
Amanya Karema Muhammad Abdul Malik.
Abdul Malik gwe ndi naye wano musajja muvubuka oli wa kibiina ki? Oli wa Jema? Oli waki?
Ndi wa NRM.
Abantu bangi bagenda ne balowooza nti aba NRM tebalina bavubuka abavubuka bonna bali mu red mu kimyufu.
Kakati we have proved that person wrong.
Oli wa NRM?
Yes.
Walinikadde okuwagira ekibiina ekyo?
Ndudde tandika okuwagira NRM 2010
ng'olaba byekoze biraddala
nga weebiri nga birabwako era n'olwaleero weebiri tubiraba
yemu abasomedde mu basale ze NRM
asisomeraho ku basale katonda yansaasira naye gye bali bazigabidde era nga basoma
togenda omugenjiga ayogera bubire munnange abantu gye bali abasomedde ku basale ze NRM nga n'omusala booti n'ababibiina ebirala bwe bityo bibeera bibiina bwe bityo naye nga webale kuwagira kibiina ekyo kiyinza kikugamba webale kuwagira kibiina mwe kirungi nnyo n'onywerera mu kibiina kyo naye n'obanga osobola okikwata nakyo ensobi ogamba n'ekibiina buli oba obeera mu kibiina nga gwe okubeera mugumizinga owaga buwazi twende temukirongoosa mugenda okwekanga temulongoosezza mbeera so kirungi nnyo n'owagira ekibiina naye nga n'ensobi kwa tewala atasobya n'ensobi zaakyo ng'oziraba ensobi z'NRM ozirabye ziriwa teyina nsobi
obuzibu abantu NRM being a ruling party bagikootinga n'ebyetali liable to
ruling party.
Yes.
Bagikootinga n'ebitali liable to.
Yes.
Obeera waka.
Errors. Right now in the electoral process, campaign season, they are not caused by NRM, by the government.
Obeera nanyini maka, if you're a father at home, abaana ne batandika okubba, batandika okwonoona. Ngamba nti famire yo abaana nga omutwe gwe manyi n'okusonga ko ninga munaye
makago oba n'endagaano gye wakola ne mukyalawo tujja kutambulanga bwetutune bwetuti mukyalo wange takola buli kimu nkikusanzawo okola ki wooli nja kukulabiranga nga bwe mbeera kati endagaano ezo tezikomeeyo neeno nayo zibaayo
zirina okusensera paka wansi
waliwo endagaano eya NRM nga bw'erina okukola emirimu gyayo waliwo n'endagaano y'Abannayuganda
abawagira NRM
bonna endagaano ya NRM ye constitution ya NRM y'ekibiina endagaano y'Abannayuganda ye constitution ya
Uganda
ebintu ebyo ebiri byawukanira ddala
nyate nga jukira NRM gwe mutwe ye ruling party
mutwe yes naye NRM si ye gavumenti ate nkwekyo okulabirako
si ye gavumenti ete mpulira abantu baga gavumenti ya Museveni
ani president wa UPC Sakena
kati ate gavumenti eno yakena
mbuziza ani usi yakena Akena is in government ono yesimbawo Kampala eno
naye asalawo kitono nnyo
waliwo n'omukyala yesimbawo eno Kampala yesimbye obukomansimbi nakiwala kingi yajja nga wa DP
owabavubuka
nga wa DP tali si minister
nakiwala wamwe wa DP
so bino ebintu ebimu
nakiwala wamwe wa DP
kakati nakiwala bali bamusosola manyi NRM tesosola. For us, we welcome everybody. Olaba clip ya President Museveni nga bali mu school. Ajawugamba nti we are educating, we are training everybody who is willing to work with us.
Mukulu Abdul Malik, tuddeyo nsobi kizolabe mu NRM.
Yes, nsobi siza NRM. We should differentiate.
NRM yo yenyini teyina nsobi.
NRM has no problem. In fact, he's also facing the same things like the same issues like others.
Otunula ku TV eno TV Africa n'ogamba nti NRM has no problem.
NRM as a party in relation to the current preceding elections is facing the same challenges like other political parties, like other independents. What we are not differentiating is the government and the NRM. You cannot tell me that security forces are for NRM. If you've been following these polls, how did the government...
When they talk about NRM, commander-in-chief...
Yes. The commander-in-chief, that's a different office. It's different from the
You're the one commanding everything.
It's not the same as the office of national chairman. They are different offices. In fact, these security forces are even scratching our backs. They are making our work difficult. I cannot come here and start talking of achievements like roads, factories constructed.
There's someone who told me, who said something that once people are satisfied,
yes,
they forget that others are hungry. They even laugh.
That's not true. That's not true. That one is similar to saying that beautiful women don't get married. Mine is a beautiful one. You are getting the point? So we NRM, bano security forces, byebakola, bijikosa. I was saying that I cannot come here and start giving people lectures on the achievements when they are shooting journalists. You are making my work difficult. Right? You are blocking opposition candidates from going to their venues. You are making my work difficult. So the president has to revise that the high command of UPDF and the police itself, because what they are doing is not on his side.
When you look at what is happening, the killing, the brutality, the way they treat people in the opposition, you saw a young man, very ambitious, Frank. You saw a young lady some months back who was called, is it Rita?
Nakawa, is it?
Yes. Killed. So what would you talk about that? You know, and you say, you know, we are this really an election? Are we really running for you know?
No, there's one thing that you people don't understand.
With politics, killing is supposed to be there.
Politics,
what don't we understand?
It is a dirty game.
So when you enter a dirty game, you expect such?
It is not a dirty game. It's a smart game. You have to be smart to be in politics too. Politics with no guns is like a ship with no compass.
With no guns?
Yes. If someone asks you what's the definition of war, a war is a practical move.
Do you condemn the killing?
A political decision. I totally condemn the killing of unarmed people. It's not democratic. It's not democratic, and it's putting us in a very bad situation. It's even tarnishing the country's image, plus that of security forces.
Let's have a little break, then we can come back.
In fact, yeah, okay.
Please tell me. Welcome back from a little break, and you're still watching TV Africa, the right to know, and it's breakfast in Africa. Let me hope you're very, very fine. We're still talking about the politics, politicking of Uganda. Politics wa Uganda wadisimwangu nenga lero nakula lero nino omwami agenda okubanga tukyatambula tukyawaya ambulira kikyembeere eri etya twali tukyayogera ku kigambo kya. How do you feel? Do you really condemn such an act of killing innocent people who are just fighting for,
In
their
fact,
rights?
Killing unarmed people with the firearms is an act of terror. If you are putting on a uniform and you shoot someone who is just holding a camera, then I don't see any difference. I don't differentiate you from Al Qaeda or these guys of the Islamic State in Arab world.
So those ones who did that.
So those people who did
Al-Qaeda.
that, it was an act of terror, though they are putting on UPDF uniforms and police uniforms.
And the president is the commander.
It is not right. And you see, now not everything that happens that you are aware at your home.
Because these things have been happening.
Yes, they've been happening, but in security forces, forces are not comprising of robots. These are human beings bound to the diversity in political affiliations. So someone can do something with the different ambitions behind him. Omujasa ajja kukwata omuntu amukuba amasasi nga ayagala kuvumaganya gavumenti. Ekyo kyasula kuba tajja kujja ku kamera kwogera nti Museveni agende. So the president has to get rid of those people in security forces, especially that person of Masaka. He has to be summoned. We have a parliamentary human rights committee. That person has to be summoned on whatever happened there.
Do you believe that a number of people have been killed in that way and they have not been summoned?
Yes.
And they have moved freely?
Yes, we have a problem.
Should we blame the government?
That we have some weaknesses in the government.
In the government?
Especially in the rule of law.
In the movement government?
Not the NRM government, but in the government of Uganda. Because when you go to the internet, they will not tell you that NRM government. Oh, when the president is swearing in, he does not swear in to
the government of Uganda,
NRM,
which is headed by
Mr. Museveni. Okay,
so who is to blame?
We have some weaknesses.
So who is to blame?
The government, not the party.
Headed by?
Okay, if I'm to pose a
You
question.
see?
Honorable Lumumba,
Yes.
the Secretary General, what power does she have in relation to the Uganda government?
In relation to Lumumba has powers.
No way. She's just a Secretary General to a political party. As simple as that. She does not even have any right, any authority like that of an LC1 chairman.
But a Secretary General has a stand on anything that happens within the party.
In the party, yes, you are right.
This is politics.
Yes.
Of a party, which is movement. The other one is called NUP. The other one is called DP. The other, So when you see such things happening, and you are the party of a ruling government, you have to come up.
Yes.
And control
there is
the
one,
party,
one story
which is the government. Are you getting my point?
Yes. There is one story I saw on the internet of Tanga Odoi. I come from Sembabuli there, and our area has issues. There is someone who won the NRM primaries, Maugula North seat. We all know him. And there is someone who thinks that that place belongs to him. Is not going anywhere. That even in his retirement, he sees daughter to come. So now they will find the Electoral Commission chairman in between home and the deep blue sea. The other group of the big man is saying, if you don't give my daughter the flag, you are losing your job.
I saw them being
And
introduced
then
to
the
people.
group of this person who won is like, if you don't give us the flag, yet we won.
We won.
You are losing your life. So the man is like, should I lose the life or lose the job? One of the two. But we know the truth that Aine won. His brother to the president, Sodo Aine Kaguta. We won the election freely and fair. But because there is someone who thinks that because he has the money, he should influence everything, even the lives of the people there. That's why you are getting these problems. So, NRM as a party, yes, it has its weaknesses as a party. But the blunders of the state should not be assimilated into the party.
Do the weaknesses of the party, are the weaknesses of the party also the weaknesses of the ruling government? Don't you believe that?
At some point. Because if you look at the weaknesses of the government, you may talk of corruption.
Yes.
You may talk of nepotism. You may talk of bureaucracy. For instance, if you wanted these people who have been registering political parties, my brother getting into the public is not that easy. She was like someone is reading a letter for 6 months. One letter like this, bureaucracy. Two, for rather, security is also now a problem. Those days we have been having our good security here. But now everything is going the other way. We don't know what's happening also. So those are the weaknesses of the government. If you come to the party, the weaknesses, you may have insufficient funds. We don't have money. I saw these MPs giving 40 million. But 40 million, you cannot look for a job for election, for votes with 40 million.
So the party has no
These
money.
people were supposed to be given each around 300 million, yes, to look for votes. Have you ever been in an election? You know it. The money that's why we are not going to solve that issue of corruption. In fact, not even NRM only. Any person coming for any electoral position should be facilitated by the government. That's the only solution to commercialization of politics.
And as if they are coming for fun. That means that some people are just going to come because they want the money.
No, you see, we create a criteria. Kakati omuntu okwesimbawo ku bwa MP, olina okuba nga olina senior 6. In fact, senior 6 now is too big, is too small. People are now educated. It should be a degree specifically in law. And 5 years of working experience, yes.
Atao obero sideline. What of those who didn't go for law?
Who didn't go for law? Now, one of the problems of this country is that we have poor allocation of resources. We all know that the government earns a lot of money from agriculture, followed by tourism. Isn't it? Yes. Those are the two major sectors where government earns what? It's revenue. If you look at the national budget, which sector gets more money? Security and defense. UPDF yingiza ono sente meka. That's poor allocation of resources.
Abatwala Congo ne bakola ne babatwala
Noziraba
Somalia balwana ne
basasula. So you see, ebintu ebimu tebinyuma kwogera wano naye nga ge mazima. Security is good, but buying an aircraft, a warplane of 50 billion, you'd rather give that money to the farmers.
Ubabaguze ennyonyi ng'eyebe ku maggwanga.
Ku maggwanga waliwo agenda okulikuba gwe gwolabye. Zetulina zitumala, ugenda kulwana nani?
Ebirowoozo biwa mukamaawo.
Yes, these are the things that have to be revised in the 2021-2026 term. Resource allocation should be done smartly. We should allocate resources reasonably. We have shrinking schools, shrinking medical centers. Those that have been constructed, there is no medicine. And the person of the owner of the pharmacy is the procurement office of the facility himself. Those are the issues we have to address in the coming term. Right? Otherwise, if we don't solve that issue of poor resource allocation, the 2026 elections, we shall have 50 people running for one seat. Why? The country now shall be looking at politics as the only way to survive. A leader wants to be in politics, a businessman wants to be in politics, a teacher wants to be in politics, a doctor. But if we allocate these resources reasonably, you are going to find that a doctor has a role model, a journalist has a role model, a teacher has a role model, one who wants to be a politician has a role model. But today we don't have those people. All of the rich people you see, the successful ones, are all in politics. Mpayo batano bokanga besimisa nenga tebali mbyabufuzi.
Je baya batudde bagamba ibyo twabyeso.
Mpayo nkasaba.
Bakwa byo mufuzi bemulisa.
Nabo mbajjeyo mpa basatu. No way. So ensi efuse political college. College of political science.
Twaba kwa bakirumira tebali mu byabufuzi.
Who told you? You can't survive in any country. In any country when you are not in politics. Do you know the sources of party funds to go into elections? Goloza abachina contract bazibawa kubanga abagala nnyo.
Yes, Mukulu Abdul Malik. Tulaba edini. We have seen our interreligious council.
Yes.
Coming into politics. I remember first bagamba politics are not supposed to be mixed with religion. And now they come up and say okulonda bandi badde bakwongezaayo kuba abantu bagenda kufa. Ne boogera ddala abala ne bagamba munnaye bannaddiini nabo balidde kasente ne bagamba sidelininga n'ekintu kyogamba batidde embeera bwetyo nebeera ng'eyita mu matu g'abantu. Embeera eyo gyogerako ki?
Amanyi bw'otunuulira kati survey n'okola ku survey, abawala abasinze okufumbirwa Banyarwanda. Obuzibu buvuddewa. Omukazi Omuganda eyafumbirwa bbaawe nga basula mu nju ya ttaka, ng'olwaleero balina emmotoka nnya mu luggya, abuulira omwana w'omuwala nti mwana wange tufumbirwanga omusajja omuki omwavu. Owulira omusajja Omunyarwanda n'agamba nti nze atwala mwana wange njagala entameka. Muzeeyi olula bangono gwe baleese wa myaka 25 amutunulira bw'ati n'amugamba genda naye ente zange nzikola ki? Muba nfuna nti bakadde baffe bano tebabuulira bannyinaffe mazima. Bamaliriza babedde ku nzija paka ku myaka 3 gye kiggwera ng'afuuse too cheap ng'anoonyayo omuntu amuzaalamu mwana aleme kaddewa nga talina ki. Kati bano baganda baffe abayita religious council, there is something people don't understand. In fact, people, for us in Islam, we have it. Nze nsobola okubeera wano ng'obusiraamu bwekirivu ku mutima gwange okusinga mu bajje wadde siri mufuti. Yensonga
nga imaani yakuyingira.
Imaani yange ngesinga eya mu bajje. Yensonga lwaki nzikirizibwa okuyimirira n'ensomesa mu bantu wadde siri seeka nenzikirizibwa okuyimirira n'ensomesa ekyo kyensomyeko n'ekitegeera nange nsobola okukisomesa abalala. Mu busiraamu gye tulina authorities, ffenna obusiraamu tebuvunaanyizibwako kyenkanyi. 2, you cannot wipe out a religion from politics or from leadership, and that's the mess. For example, if the president is swearing in ani amulayiza
era ava mu ddiini
tegerekeka, lwaki tebaleeta yingini yazimbe enguudo kwayita? What's the motto of the country?
Golooza ekyokusalako nti
kati bano abasajja, the problem is we don't differentiate people of God from people with the positions. the Interreligious Council lost goodwill from the population.
Why?
If you are bringing a resolution of halting elections on grounds that people will lose their lives, that's not a reason. That's not a reason. However, if you are to go that way, we follow the constitution. If in such a time comes, if such a time comes, you are right. But if you, these are religious leaders trying to give their advice to the political environment that we should halt elections for reasons ABC.
Which
right?
is life.
Which reason is somehow but not constitutional. Right? We follow the constitution now. If we do not hold elections, what happens? In the constitution, there is no clause that extends the presidential term. There is no clause. President tebamuwamu yadde akanyiriri aka akatona embeera nti tumwongereyo yadde olunaku olumu. President Museveni goes aside, we bring our speaker for a period of 6 months as we monitor the situation. As simple as that. If they brought their idea that way, ensi yande balabyenga abantu abategeevu era bannaddiini. Naye bejjeeko ebitwala amannya ge bakoledde emyaka gino yonna. Amannya gye siina munnaddiini gwe nvuluze naye beetereeze. Kati in fact nze mbayamba. Kuba omanyi ffe mu busiraamu Katonda atugambayo ekintu kino. Bw'oyagala okusanyusa ekitonde n'ogaana ogoberera amateeka gange, ekitonde kyange tekijja kukusema kye nange nja kukola ki?
Oli wa movement.
Nja kukunyiigira. Kati bano bayagadde basanyuse omukulu. Yabasiimye.
Baali banoonya kubasanyusa.
Yabasiimye ne bannayuganda bakoze eki? Babanyigidde. Nze abantu bembadde wano mpa ekitiibwa be basajja. Lwanga ono Pastor Gundi ono wabalokole. Kayanja Pastor Disiri Kazimba Mugaru era yabyepenye. Ye yabagamba politicians are not worth dying for. He knows. Today someone is red, the other day is blue, the other day is yellow. Tubalabije.
Now osobira okukyuka.
I think I cannot change because no, the problem you people think that NRM you should be saying if Museveni tells you this microphone say it is white. I should say that it is white. I tell you, yes, you are the party chairman, I respect you, you are the president, but the microphone is red. That's me. I went to school, I cannot be paid to be a fool. So I support you reasonably. Yes, I can exercise my rights reasonably. Right? So, Banabanja Religious Council, bandibadde wababula nti akalulu tukayimirize, omukulembeze Uganda adde ku ki? Tuwete speaker. Then okugamba nti president tumwongere ekisanja. No, tumwongereyo emyaka 3. Why? Because even saying that we extend the presidential term, it calls for a referendum, which is also another sort of an election still. So instead of going for a referendum extending a presidential term, after all,
do you think these campaigns are fair?
They are 50% fair. 50% unfair. In fact,
unfair.
From that precedent...
Unfair. They are sidelining the ruling party?
From that verge, these people of the Interreligious Council maybe use the other 50 to call for a halt in the electoral process. But that could not happen because the office of the Attorney General was going to become very busy. Whichever person has spent his single coin in this election was supposed to be compensated by the government. That calls for the Treasury to release over $1 trillion. How many electoral positions do we have here? We have independent. No, this one is opposed and unopposed. Who are waiting to swear in. Kanyina yo government gundi tojja kujja kubanga ABC. Bajja kusana $1 billion. Atengo ino kuzimu. So yosobola kuyimiriza kalulu tetusobola twakayingira nga covid tumulaba tugende nako atidde dda ku bbali abalala bakole ki as simple as that.
Nenga kali free and tekali fair.
The election is somehow not fair. Somehow not fair. Why? We all know the process. Omuntu jayitamu okufuka presidential candidate. First you are to the electoral commission. Ng'ogibuulira oginfominga nti njagala okwesimbawo. Bw'omala okuwandiika ebbaluwa eyo neekuddamu. Toyagala okwesimbawo ssebo nti twetaaga ogende mu district zaffe. No. Do you have A level? Yes, I do. Bw'omala ne bakuwa ebbaluwa ekukkiriza ogenda mu district okunoonya emikono. 2/3 of the districts of Uganda. Roughly, that's 80 districts. Bannayuganda abataka wansi wansanvu ne bakuwa emikono mu buli district. Bw'ovaawo ne bakuddukira nga now you are presidential what?
Candidate.
Go and look for what? For votes. Start campaigning. And you see an idiot from the police force blocking such a person?
Order ni order. Anti we bayogera.
Those days, that was the army of those days and the forces of those days. But the forces of today are of educated people. For example, you've been ordered that any person crossing there just shoot. That's the order. Those days it could apply. But today the soldier will look and the person coming is a pregnant woman. Like, no, I'm supposed to. They are doing like that because I think they are fools.
Why do you have to recruit fools in such a...
No, idiocy is not tangible. It's not tangible like you are putting on that shirt, like I said, the man is putting on a shirt. Idiocy is a trait in someone, and someone can hide that.
For the training?
Yeah.
Do they really get that training?
Secondly, we have some corruption in the recruitment. So you see, these are the things we talk about, and
these are the things that people want to change.
No,
and that's why they are aiming for change.
It's true, they have to change these things, but how?
Because for 30 years you failed to change.
I started looking at this Uganda politics in 2010. Uganda of 2010 is not the Uganda of today. I don't want to talk of the 80s because I wasn't there. I did the sciences, I'm not a historian. I like talking about something I see. 2010, Salama Road was very good. Why? It was just 3 years after Chogam. Is it the same right now?
No.
Lukuri Nanganda Road, Buziga, has been a very bad road. I remember I was studying at Buziga Islamic in 2007. They constructed that road when I was seeing like this. It was very nice. After the Queen left, the road became a problem. Now it's a nice one. What am I trying to mean here? Change does not call for Museveni to leave power. Why? He has changed this country. So with him, we can get more change.
With him?
Yes. Where do you come from?
I come from Masaka.
Masaka. The Kampala Masaka Road of 2000, is it the same of today?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
For the 35 years.
For the 35 years. It's not the same. Yes. When you are going to Entebbe, are you still using the same route?
So we should wait for other 35 years?
Not 35 years. But let's give him these 5 years. Then after 5 years, if he comes back, I will be the first person to be against him. So let's give him these 5 years.
I've seen politicians and different people of different calibers saying there is trouble ahead. Tugenda kufa. People are going to die in this political war. Anytime people are going to die. And we have seen people dying, but people are saying there is something that is coming.
Something coming.
These elections are not going to be the ones we have been having the past.
Post-mortem is not going to be peaceful. You are right. In that line one, we have the coronavirus pandemic. We expect a big surge in infections and deaths. Last time I told you I can treat someone of COVID-19. If the person dies, you don't give me your money. You take your money.
So you are Dr. Malik.
So I did sciences.
Yes,
So some of the mistakes these people are doing, the health workers, is putting someone on a ventilator. In a chemistry, if you look at the physical properties of oxygen gas, it's a cold gas. Cold, isn't it?
Yes.
But a COVID-19 patient is not supposed to be subjected to any cold environment.
Yes.
That's why every person that goes to a ventilator does not come back. But I did sciences, and you were a doctor, yes? But COVID-19, this is something very new. Right? So the surge in COVID-19 cases will cause more deaths. 2, electoral violence.
Why now?
Electoral violence, because people have lost trust in the Electoral Commission. You cannot tell me that you are blocking people from campaigning from over 12 districts, and then those districts will go into voting. If you are halting campaigns in those districts, even the voting in those districts should be done what? Right? That's being fair.
And that is what they did.
But if you are saying that these people should use media houses, which media houses are most of them owned by NRM people, now you are becoming partisan. The opposition are not going to get a platform to express their views. Their election ceases to be free and fair. And what comes after that? The person has already lost confidence in you, goodwill from you, does no longer trust you. What will come next? They will now come to the practical move of influencing their political decisions, which we call war. So we have to prepare ourselves for that situation. But all of this caused by Electoral Commission and the security forces.
We have seen the president saying the Electoral Commission has not been fair to him by blocking him not having his campaigns in Kampala area. As we come back, you're going to be telling us how you feel about that and why is he saying the Electoral Commission is not fair, because it has been done to all those ones who are contesting for the presidential seat. Let's come back. Still watching TV Africa, The Right to Know. Yes, you're welcome to TV Africa, the right to know, and it's breakfast in Africa. Hey, kansubire gwali aho onyumirwa kiche twogera ku kigambo kya kulonda. Twogera ku kinyuzi kyennyini. Twalabe president nga avayo nga munayi. Electoral Commission nika president w'eggwanga kiki Electoral Commission munkoze bubi nnyo nze madde ntambuza akalulu kange mu ngeri y'ekimpoweze mateeka nga goberedde ate mutuganira wamu kirindi nemutuganira wamu ne bano ine ekigambo kyabayise nkimanyi ali wanajja kuba akitubuulira era munne lwaki muntu alira wamu mu kirindi ne bano abandi tebagoberera mateeka mweyisiza bubi ddala ekya Electoral Commission okuba nti ddala yakuta abantu mu maaso nebagamba naye mugira mupowa kibuga kino tukyakyetaaga muleke temugenda campaigningira wano okyogerako ki?
It's wrong, it's bad, and it's taking our country to some sort of insecurity and electoral violence.
Is it going to affect your votes?
Yes.
As NRM?
Yes, because the country knows that it's the national chairman that appoints the Electoral Commission chairman and the committee members, right? So it is affecting us politically and even in terms of national security. The Electoral Commission too, you see, sometimes when you appoint me here, when I'm not qualified, me myself, I will tell the people that this person gave me the job when I'm not qualified. We all know that Biabakama has been a judge. If he was really a qualified judge, how could we do that mess?
It's a mess.
It's a mess. Did he write to the... And this is how Lukwago is going to get money from the National Treasury. Because of the blunders he's making in the law. Munamandeka tukusobola kubanga mateeko gamanyi tokola nsobi za kisibo. Yalina okusooka okuwandiikira presidential candidates bonna ku nsonga eyo. N'abayita. Did he? He woke up as if he's talking. Even your children, you cannot just come from nowhere and be like, you will put on red shoes, the other one blue or what. No. Someone will just go and canvas.
Yali ku kintu kya bulamu bw'abantu.
We have the coronavirus task force. That's what is causing us problems. Abantu bava kuibakwatako ne badda kuiba tabakwatako. How does the Electoral Commission relate to health? We have the Ministry of Health. We have the coronavirus task force. Right? We have the Ministry for Security. Ministry for Internal Affairs. Those are the three institutions that would be talking about the coronavirus pandemic, not the Electoral Commission. Two, we went in this election when coronavirus was there. We expected a surge in infections. So you cannot tell me that you are blocking people from campaigning on the grounds of surge in cases. That's nonsense. And it's a sign of impotence, incompetence.
President Gaga munaye bamuyisiza bubi. Yabadde ayagala ye bamukirize abalala babagaane.
Ayinza obba kye yabadde ayagala. Naye gwe oba ku kitundu kuno nga gwe osaala wekka waliwo omusajja yasaalanga ng'ali ku kitundu kyabonoonefu. Kale wanasindika Malayika Jibiru n'agigamba ekitundu kyonna genda okikole ki? Okizikirize. Kyokye. Malayika nejja. Bwe yatuukawo nesangako omusajja oli yali asinzaani Katonda. Neddayo. Negamba mbadde ngenda kukikola naye we ntuuse nsazeeko omuddu wa Allah abadde akusinza. Allah yagigamba tandikira ku oyo. Lwaki? Amanye ekituufu netakisomesa banne. If you are going to these presidential meetings is abadde conducting, the first thing you were tested, the corona thingy. Coronavirus test. Were these opposition candidates given testing kits? Right? Two, this Museveni has been good at time management. If he is to attend to 3 groups of people, he has been doing it successfully. How will an opposition candidate do that when his way to somewhere is blocked? So this thing of saying that God is there, what? Okoli masikutuufo okukolimira akakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Why? Kubanga era ye baba kumukkiriza ate bano bandikirabye bulala. So today our fool tried to act with the brains. You know, fools sometimes have sense.
Who's that fool?
That's the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission. What they are doing is costing NRM.
I thought the Electoral Commission is because that's what people are saying.
Out there think that
He's sidelining with
Museveni
you.
who talked to the
Yes.
big man that you do ABC, and you cannot remove that from their minds.
That they had a fear
So whatever
of
mess
this
you are
younger
doing
man.
in any institution of the government, you are costing NRM and making our work difficult as mobilizers. I told you some time back. How can I come here and start talking of the good roads that have been constructed, the airport that has been expanded, when people are being killed?
And people are sleeping hungry.
I cannot talk because sleeping hungry is normal. The problem is spending the day hungry. Buli omu ali ekyeggulo. Buli omu ali ekyeggulo.
Wagi. Sleeping hungry is normal.
Is normal.
Nakugaye muntu bw'aba akkuse. Abakirabye n'abirabanga bintu bitono nnyo.
Ekyo si kituufu kiba mu muntu.
Osubira NRM egenda kwangulira ku kyenkana ki? What's the percentage?
NRM may win at 52%.
Singa NRM tewangula olowooza ki ekiyinza okubaawo?
If NRM loses these elections, we shall follow the constitution.
You've been watching TV Africa, the Right to Know, and it's Breakfast in Africa. Stay tuned. Other programs are coming in.